Do you know what's really bothering me about this game where I launch a penguin into space? This number right here, my highest speed is somehow 602. Look at the rest of the numbers in comparison. Highest altitude 3.3 million, total altitude 100 million, $120 million cash, and our highest speed is somehow 602. That's definitely not fast enough to break the game, so let's throw this idiot into a trash can and get started. This thing will weigh a little bit, but we can attach a bunch of boosters to the garbage can so we'll get a little bit more speed. We're breaking records, we got $6 for max speed. I want $1 billion. So let's upgrade our coil. That's going to launch us a little higher, a little faster. And because we have all the time in the world to take this seriously, we're going to add the brick. In fact, we got 2 bricks and we went much higher for much more money. $120. We did lose speed, but we'll pick that up later. We need money for upgrades. And I know what you're thinking.
That's not enough springs to send them into space.
Well, we'll add some more. The top speed of the trash can is limited to currently 11, 10, so we're going faster than before. As per usual, we're not going to get there in a hurry, but we are going to get there simply based on having too much time on my hands. Breaking more records, $141. It's only $25 and then $40 to upgrade the trash can to its maximum level. We're recyclers now. I also forgot that I could go beyond max level, so that's going to help us go beyond max speed. I think we're going to go ahead and give us some pressurized gas at this point. That gives extra power, fuel, basically everything we need to send this beautiful moron up into the sky. It won't be a fast boost, but it'll get us high enough to earn the money we need. $208 that time. So with that, we're going to add the DIY to our contraption. It looks very reliable. Because we got $127, we're going to go ahead and upgrade that once. And you can see our progress coming along. We've already hit 9,000. With this, we might even break 10. We have quite the contraption going on so far. We absolutely obliterated our record. We're up to 14,000 altitude. Our rocket tried to power us further. $393. And we get daily interest. The coil we have has 400 power and 15 max lift. We're going to sell that and get something better. A good old grenade should get us going. 720 base power, 30 max lift. The upgrades are a little more expensive than I had counted on, but we now have 1000 power. And we can upgrade the DIY, so we're basically just stacking wild explosives to wildly coyote us into the air. The first few launches have gone a little bit sideways. We're perfecting our process, but we're clearly getting a lot of power. We actually broke our max speed record by a considerable amount. Considering we went sideways, that's a good sign. We're starting to get a bit of a handle on the grenade. We're obviously starting to get some really good speed. So now I probably just need something that's more aerodynamic than a recycling bin with bricks attached to it. $883 though, so we can afford it. The Spearhead has a top speed of 25, it weighs 15. We don't get our boosts anymore, but we've been upgrading the DIY rocket anyway, so let's go ahead and upgrade this very expensively. The grenade can also get upgraded as much as we could possibly afford, and then the DIY also. So I'm very much hoping this translates into some real good speed. That was not a great grenade toss. I don't think that's gonna matter. We are going fast. And for reasons unknown to myself, the penguin rides upside down inside this green machine of doom. But we're breaking records. Max speed definitely got there. $1,701 for a single run. Which means we could definitely start stacking up all sorts of upgrades. The grenade even turned into one of those. Whatever it is, I'm pretty sure I used to throw it at people in Call of Duty. We're going to go ahead and get a better launch this time. Hopefully hold ourselves nice and straight. This thing's just going to steer wherever it wants to go, so we can't really deal with that. But the results are starting to speak for themselves. We were going so fast that entire time. New records across the board. $3,000, $5 daily interest. Wow. I feel like upgrading a Spearhead is the best way to go, considering it adds a top speed of 10 whatever units. And we can actually add a booster with its upgrades. So we'll probably sell the brick because raw sex appeal is important, but maybe not as important as, speed. Let's try the fins because they do come with bonus top speed and we're all about speed. And the more we upgrade it, I think it gets lighter and adds better handling. Plus it just looks better. That was not a good launch, but that's not going to matter. We are upgraded and going for it. We still managed to get a little bit further. 73,000. New records across the board, $3,200. Next, I'm going to add a sonic burst. We've upgraded enough we have an extra slot. That's only $400. That adds a lot of power, so we're just going to go ahead and hit the green thing until we're happy. Which is sort of a ridiculous statement because we're never going to have enough anything on a day like today. Our current record is 73,000. I think we're about to beat that, provided I don't absolutely botch this launch. Which, good enough for me. The wind is taking us way sideways, but I think once the DIY rocket runs out, the super booster will come into effect. And as long as we're pointed halfway straight, that is going to point us in the right direction at great speed. That put us up to 95,000. So we went ahead and broke some records for $6,000. And you know what? As fun as the DIY is, I think I want another sonic burst. It just gets us to where we're going quicker. And clearly I'm a very busy person. I don't know what ultimately is going to get us further, but if we just keep clicking green things, we'll get there eventually. NASA, did you hear that? I'm willing to come work for you. So that was a great launch for the first time ever. That's going to look good on my resume. We're going to launch ourselves very high, very quickly. We're already over 100,000. See, this works out a lot better because the run goes quicker, so I make money faster, and you guys don't have to see the crushing pain that I'm in minute by minute. So the spearhead obviously needs to be leveled up so we can take more advantage of our explosive top speed. And same with this thing, and that's just going to keep working our top speed higher. Our total weight is 25 pounds. I'm not really sure how that factors in yet. It's going to take a little bit until we determine exactly what a big or small weight is. For now, we're just focused on going fast. Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going to get another sonic burst, and we're going to upgrade that a few times just so we can have a third booster into the sky. That way, when we're at 90,000, we're going to get one more boost. It's going to push us up to 115. We got more altitude, but the rest of the stats are kind of leveling off, so we need to change something fundamentally. I think it's time for the bullet. We put so much money into the spearhead that by buying the bullet, we're actually going to get a refund. But the top speed for its base is 30. It is quite heavy, but if we give it a few boost slots, we're going to be in really good shape. Its top speed is already 50, now it's 51. And it has a 4th stage. This is going to be real fast. Should probably also find something a little more stable than a grenade too to launch us, but we'll see how this goes for now. The golden bullet way into the sky. The first one launched in 2 stages. This one is coming up on 90,000. We didn't go as high, but at least the penguin is sitting right side up, so he knows what's going on for the first time. Next, I'm going to try the dubstep drive for $2,800. It's very expensive, but it's got 15 dub and 800 wub, which I'm hoping translates into some kind of power. We're also going to keep upgrading the fins because that's going to help our top speed, which we need. Not a bad launch. We're getting lots of power out of that. So there goes the first booster, second booster, this will be the third. Now the dubstep drive, which is going to go like that. And yeah, we could live with this. It's taking us consistently higher at about max speed, which is apparently quite efficient. Plus, it's giving a lot of flashing lights, which is always a lot of fun to include in a YouTube video. But we did break some records and got some new money. So instead of the dubstep drive that has a lot of flashing lights, let's just go for a cruise missile. We're going to upgrade our explosive launcher from a grenade to a bazooka. It has a base power of 2200. So I think with a few small upgrades, it's now up to 6900. So we just need to fire that at the right moment, but we're already going out of control, but speed feels pretty good. And now our final rocket will go off and carry us further into orbit. We're well over a record at this point. $11,000. We didn't break our speed record, but that's okay. Speed will come at the end game. I think the best upgrade for now will be our bazooka. We just get more power for more speed launch. I think I'm actually going to add a dark matter canister instead of our fins, because that will actually reduce our weight by 10%. And as we upgrade it, it's actually going to reduce the weight more, so we got about a 17% weight reduction, which I think probably works in our favor. Not with a launch like that, but having a little bit less weight might mean more speed, and so far that seems to be more or less working. And obviously we've created something absolutely brilliant. $17,000 for a single run. That's the kind of money we can start to work with. Bazooka. Can we hit max level with it yet? We sure can. It turns into the thing that kills cows on farms. And that progress curve is starting to steepen. Before you know it, we'll be at the moon. To be fair, I want so much speed that we blow right through the moon. We obliterate it so it's a pile of dust, and we do the same thing to the sun, and we just keep on going. So much speed that it tears the universe itself right in half. Our altitude is up to 340,000. 26,000. Our cruise missile is a level 1 right now, so we're going to invest all of our money into that. That's very expensive, but that'll give us a big boost for further earnings. And that's actually working out really well. We are just over what our max speed should be, so we're flying quite efficiently, which is very much a happy accident. Nothing in my life screams efficiency, not one single thing. I am a little bit curious to see what happens if we keep upgrading to dark matter, if it will just endlessly make us lighter. That was cheaper than I thought, so we're actually way lighter than we were. We just went from 44 to 35 pounds. That was a giant weight decrease. So we'll pass the savings on to our lovely penguin. So far so good. Our speed is absolutely colossal. We're going to use our last booster, and then the rockets turn on. So we got better bonus earnings and altitude, $30,000. So if we go beyond max upgrades, we only got a few of them, but that did drop us a little bit more. After max level, it started diminishing returns, but we can live with those because we could just play forever. We are going to need a higher top speed though, because eventually our Drake will cause us to lose top speed anyways. And upgrading our bazooka would add another 800 power to 14,000, but I think we can get a stronger base. Okay, the orbital cannon, 3150 base. So the upgrades on top of that pushed us up to 18,000. Perfect. We'll also upgrade our cruise missile because that pushes us a little bit up, and then we can actually adjust a little bit of top speed for our bullet. So now I got to play this fun little mini game where I keep that on target, and once it's in the green or something, I think we're going to take off, and it's probably going to be a big launch. Yeah, that was quick. I still need more top speed. We're still going into the red with our top speed, and that's slowing us down and hurting. There is something called a Volcano, which is just like a stove. It has a power increase and a power decrease, so I'm not really sure what to make of that. We might give this a try. It's a stronger first stage, but others are weakened. If we put all of our money into that, what exactly happens? It also comes with a second one of these slots, so we can add whatever we want for more power. I'm just going to add another dark matter thing, because I think that's actually going to knock our weight down a lot with a little investment. Only 25 pounds. I don't have a lot of faith that our strange ball contraption is going to go further, but you never know. So far we're on the move pretty far upwards. We don't have our final booster, which might be a bit of a problem, but our altitude is pretty high, so we broke no new records. So the Volcano was a bad choice. We're swap it out. And ultimately, the Omega shuttle seems to be the answer. It is the fastest base, and it's got 4 slots on either side, so we can do whatever we want with this. Which for now is probably at its top speed, and it will gain a lot of that very expensively. So let's give it a launch with that and see what we get. It should be able to cope with more of that top speed, so its initial boosters will be a little bit better for it. We should blink upwards. Yep, that's good and fast. Then those will go off, carrying our speed very nicely. I think we obliterated a bird or two along the way. The sacrifices we must make. So we carried a lot of speed all the way up to 475, which was definitely some new bests, not max speed, but we need to upgrade this to get it to where it needs to be. What's the Omega brick? It weighs 50, but it's got 666 Conquest, War, Famine, and Death, so it's the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse in brick form. We'll see if that makes a difference. It basically just added a whole bunch of weight. Weight might actually be good in a way for our launch because it will carry momentum better, but I'm not really sure if that's going to factor in. We'll find out pretty shortly. If this is a better launch, the Omega brick helps. I don't think it helped. I don't know what it does, but it's not helping this build. But we're literally failing upwards because we still made $37,000. So I'm just going to add more dark matter drives. They're very cheap and they're going to knock our weight down a lot, especially with just a few really cheap upgrades that only cost a few $1,000s. Those upgrades took us from 41 pounds to 28.2. We should probably also finish our cruise missile. I think it's going to benefit the most. Also, I didn't realize my sonic bursts weren't max level yet. That would have made a huge difference so far. Look how much extra power they give, and they look better. This ship is exactly too much money and not enough brains. Absolutely embodiment of it. But we're definitely going to break a record here. We're already at 470,000. So we didn't break our speed record yet, but we did break our earnings record. And we're going to use that to put our sonic burst to max level for now, because that's when they're sitting at their efficient levels. Everything gets so expensive so quickly. Luckily, we're earning lots of money. And at least this one is easy to launch. We can still upgrade it quite a bit, and that's going to get this initial thing higher, but we need to upgrade the ship itself to accommodate better top speed. But we got over 600,000, but we probably still didn't get past 3-digit speeds, which is getting sad. One more upgrade here actually puts the orbital cannon to max level, so that's actually going to help it out in a big way. Our Omega shuttle can also get an upgrade, which is going to give it a little bit more top speed. So this is the max level orbital cannon. We'll see how far this can take us or how quickly. So by the time our rocket booster comes on, we're at 580,000, so we're going to go a little higher, but not a great deal. But we did earn $70,000. The only thing that I could find that has a better launch power than the orbital cannon is the Omega coil, and to be fair, it does have a base power of 13,000. It's just really, really expensive to upgrade, so even putting $100,000 into it, it's still less power than our other thing was. I think I'm also going to try a sonic drive because it has 255 base power. That's going to reduce or replace one of our sonic bursts. And they're still reasonably affordable, so that's actually going to jump up to 398 power at max level. And this works out better because I don't need to do anything for the launch. It just launches itself. And this looks like it does repeated boosts like that. That's going to keep us hopefully going at lots of speed. It's still not nearly the power of the other ones though, so this was actually a considerably weaker launch so far. I'm actually going to trade and go back to 4 sonic bursts for the time being, just because it's going to get me really high really quickly, and that's going to make me money fast. And because I sold those, I was able to get the Omega Shuttle 3 levels of upgrade, so the top speed is up to 70. And with some upgrades down here, the total weight of this is just over 20 pounds right now. Now it's well under 20 pounds, which may or may not mean more speed. But we're certainly going to go upwards quickly. That's all that really matters. And I think we're actually going to break a record with this. That's perfect. That put me up to 700,000 altitude, and that only took a couple seconds to do it. So we didn't break many records, but we did make $66,000. So if we do a bunch of these launches, we're in good shape. I'm very sad that our daily interest seems to be capped at $10,000. Otherwise, we could use that to get obscenely rich. But we have 500 grand. So let's add that to our Omega shuttle to give it a higher top speed. It is now max level.
+1.
As for our Omega coil, our launcher, we're going to upgrade that, and it went from 20,000 to 30,000 power. Then we're going to reduce the weight from 17.9 to 15 pounds. Now that doesn't sound considerably huge, but that is actually over a 10% reduction. So $500,000 worth of upgrades. We're so quick we can't even see ourselves at this point, and our altitude is already 900,000. So everything is going well except for our trajectory. And the best part is this happened so quickly I can get back and do it again to make more money. That was $110,000 for a single run. Our very next run, altitude broke 1 million. So let's bring these up to at least max level so they're sitting at a nice efficient spot. Our weight is 13.4. If we spend $215,000, we can reduce the weight actually further quite a lot. Wow, 11 pounds. And we're going to take one of our sonic bursts a little bit over just for a little added power. Then we should be breaking probably a speed record for this turn at least, and we're already ready to go over 1 million because each one of those bursts is pushing us a long ways up. 125,000 that time. Still haven't broken our max speed. I've let things grind away for a little bit, and we have $6.5 million to spend on whatever we want. So let's go down to $6 million by buying extra initial launch power. Then maybe $1 million upgrading our shuttle so we can have better top speed. And since the whole thing only weighs 11 pounds, let's see if we can reduce that weight just a little bit more. Okay, we now got it down to 3 pounds, so that should work out pretty well for us. I'm going to upgrade my rocket a little bit more. It is now beyond max level, and its top speed is 225, so the launch should hopefully be a little bit more dramatic. We're going to save our money so we know how best to spend it. So there's a launch. We are well off the screen at this point. Our speed is probably through the roof, and we're going sideways, but we're already well over 1 million, so that's something. Still didn't break a speed record, but we did make $134,000 for very little work. Okay, so let's spend the remaining $2.5 million on our launcher, which is actually going to take us all the way to max. And then a few more dollars, making our thing even lighter. We're down to 2.6 pounds. These go up to level 50. Okay, then I guess we're going to start working on a sonic burst for now and see what these can do for us. These are less expensive than I thought they were. I'm not sure what I've created. I'm not really sure how to control it either, because by the time I see myself, I'm often going quite a bit sideways, and now we're going downwards thanks to birds. But our altitude is well over 1 million already, so that's fun. $230,000. I'm a little bit curious to take off one of my sonic bursts and actually add an Omega balloon. That's going to probably reduce our weight, but it can also just lift us up. Not really sure if that's to our benefit or not, but we're going to try it. So far, it's going pretty good. We're not going super fast, but we're going consistently upwards. I thought it might just help us float. It's giving us a little bit of consistent power upwards, but it's not what we're after. Not even close. We somehow did hit a new max speed there, and I'm not really sure why. I let the game play itself for a few short hours, and we now have $336 million to spend, so we're just going to take all of these to max level. And now we're left with only $334 million to spend. So let's see if we can hit a new speed record again. We're going completely upside down because we're too fast to control ourselves. So what we actually need is just a little bit of luck to keep going somewhat upwards. I'm making corrections as hard as I can in every direction. We hit 2 million altitude, and that's pretty insane without any proper rockets. Still no speed record. So we're going to use a speedifier. Increases thrust, reduces drag. We're going to slam that down and off we go. If we don't hit a new speed record here, we got to change up our entire structure.
Okay, we're gonna change it up.
Let's go straight for the Omega rocket. We're going to buy 4 of those and they're all going to be max level. I'm hoping this leads to some speed considering this whole thing weighs 2 pounds. Also, Omega rockets are a lot more expensive than I thought. We're actually burning through our money pretty quickly. Each of these upgrades is $500,000 already. Whatever the case, a max level rocket only weighs half a pound. It's got 22 power, tons of fuel, and tons of lift. Plus, we're going to use a speedifier here just to be sure. We might as well start using those things up. And off we go. So far, the speed is completely redlining. I can't even see our thing. There we go. We're going upwards. Okay, our speed is actually insane with this right now. Like, as soon as we don't hit something, we go over red line. And we've used like a fraction of 1% of the fuel so far. I think because we're so light, we get knocked out of trajectory very, very easily by everything else. But we seem to have found a narrow lane to slide through. Okay, we've used like 10% of our entire fuel so far. We're trying to work our way upwards. We're starting to get so high we're taking out UFOs. But this is a very dummy-proof way to fly. And we've left orbit, which means we got over 4 million. We're finally gonna make it to the moon. and smash right into it, but I did want to obliterate it. There are a few other upgrades we can still do, like if I click this enough times, we can now get to plus 100 over max level. And it turns out we can spend our BPs even going over max level on some of these things. I need to trade in some of my sardines, which is going to be just fine because then we can very slowly get even more power somehow. So we just very easily got all the way into space, and now we're surrounded by green arrows one more time. This can go up many more levels now, so its top speed is going to be bananas. Omega Shuttle level 100, top speed 500. The coil's power that launches us is currently 65,000. Many millions of dollars later, it is 250,000. Now, since we managed to get all the way there with one rocket last time, I've removed the other 3, so we're even lighter, plus this rocket's going up to level 100. Probably same with all the dark matter things, they're going up to level 100, so we're going to be probably weightless by the end of this. We are down to 1 pound. We are shaving off absolutely tiny little increments, but we still should be below a pound. And the best part is we just maxed out to level 100 on everything. We've still got $250 million. Time for some more speedifier and off we go. We are already okay. We're into orbit. It was literally that quick. So I think we broke a speed record. Yeah, that time we shattered the moon. We hit it so hard we went right on through it. I got an achievement for Moonbreaker. I guess I did actually hit it hard enough to break it. We made $2 million there. Our max speed was just 0. I think we might have gone too fast for it to actually register. I decided to launch again with less gravity, and we immediately jumped up to 10 million into the sky. And our speed is going up that we're completely redlining at this point, at least until we touch something. And this feels better because it's supposed to be quite a challenge to get to 4 million. We're currently at 11 million and going strong. I can have 3 sonic bursts at this point, and the weight still is only 1 pound. Now we just gotta auto-click them all the way up to level 100. Alright, gravity is at half. We have 3 mega boosters after our 1 jet runs off, but you can see by our altitude we're going up quickly. There is already 10 million. And our super boosters have gone off. We're coming up on 20 million already. These are the kind of numbers we've been looking for. We got over 20 million and I had to abort because progress was getting slow and boring.